This evening, first, Guyana takes flight towards the future. President Irfaan Ali launches a landmark ICAO aviation training program, preparing a new generation of pilots, engineers, air traffic controllers, and aviation specialists. How the new program initiative aims to reshape the nation's fast-growing air sector. Plus, 2 major power outages in just 24 hours. The Ministry of Public Utilities summoned GPL after faults at Kingston and along the 69 kV network plunged communities across Demerara and Berbice into darkness, while authorities say heavy machinery may be putting the grid and thousands of customers at risk. Also tonight, outrage after viral videos show Guyanese students engaging in vulgar behaviour at school events. The Education Minister says accountability is coming as calls grow for stronger supervision and renewed values in the classroom. And new beginnings for dozens of women nationwide. 83 entrepreneurs received business grants at the close of the 60 Days of Activism campaign, a lifeline for survivors of domestic violence and graduates of WIN programs. Across the region, Venezuela condemns the U.S. seizure of an oil tanker, calling it international piracy as tensions between Washington and Caracas escalate. Those stories and more straight ahead. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for December 11th, 2025. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, Guyana is gearing up for a significant boost to its aviation sector with the launch of the International Civil Aviation Organization Next Generation of Aviation Professionals Plus program. President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali unveiled the initiative on Tuesday at the Pegasus Corporate Suites in Georgetown. The new program will train Guyanese for careers across the entire aviation field.
This expansion creates a demand for skilled Guyanese. We will need pilots, air traffic controllers, aviation engineers, safety inspectors, airport managers, and ground crew. A lot of cargo is going to be moved, and so we need freight forwarders, and other logistic professionals. We will need a whole new generation of professionals.
The president explained that as senior aviation workers move into regulatory and leadership roles, there is a growing need for new, well-trained professionals. The program, he stressed, is a strategic investment to prepare Guyana for a rapidly expanding aviation sector. President Ali noted that more international airlines are coming to Guyana and domestic flights are reaching deeper into the hinterland. The government is also upgrading key aviation infrastructure, including building a new terminal at CJIA, improving airports in Lethem and Rosehall, and expanding hinterland airstrips and runways nationwide. The president told the first group of cadets and students that their roles would be vital in shaping the country's future.
Infrastructure without people is not enough. The heart of aviation is human expertise. That is why we are going further. In collaboration with the private sector, we'll establish a premier aviation sector and school right here in Guyana. The institution will have one mission: to train and certify Guyanese talent across all areas of aviation, from the cockpit to the control tower, from the hangar floor to the boardroom. And yes, this school will have the capability to train and certify our pilots domestically. Our aspiring pilots will earn their wings right here in Guyana.
The Next Generation of Aviation Professionals Plus program is expected to ensure that all communities, including coastal, rural, and hinterland areas, benefit from stronger air connectivity as the country continues to grow. In other news, a pair of major blackouts across Demerara and Berbice this week has prompted high-level talks between the Public Utilities Ministry and Guyana Power and Light over grid safety and reliability. Dale Jarvis explains what caused the outages and the steps now being taken.
The Ministry of Public Utilities and Aviation has met with Guyana Power and Light after 2 major power outages on December 9th and 10th disrupted electricity services across Demerara and Berbice. The first outage happened late Tuesday night around 10 p.m. when a short circuit at Kingston substation caused smoke to come from a 6 to 9 kV transformer. GPL later found that a damaged cable was responsible. The cable was disconnected for safety and power was gradually restored to all affected areas just after midnight. On Wednesday morning, around 11:19 a.m., another blackout occurred when the 69 kV line between Edinburgh and Vredenhoop tripped while carrying 15 megawatts of power. GPL said the problem was caused by heavy machinery operating too close to the transmission lines, which triggered a chain reaction across the grid. Power returned to some communities within 30 minutes, and all areas were fully restored in about 90 minutes. The ministry said GPL has more than 250 megawatts of dependable generation, which is more than enough to meet the country's current demand of 210 megawatts. However, many outages are now being caused by careless use of heavy equipment and vehicles near power lines, which can knock out electricity to thousands of customers. The ministry is urging contractors, machinery operators, and all road users to be extremely careful when working near GPL's infrastructure. To improve response times, more than 30 emergency teams have been deployed across the country. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jervis.
Thanks, Dale. The Minister of Education, Suni Parag, has strongly condemned the series of viral social media videos showing students from a local school engaging in what she described as inappropriate and vulgar behavior. Minister Parag said the Ministry of Education does not tolerate such conduct at any school event, including Christmas socials. She reminded that head teachers had been given clear instructions to ensure proper supervision and said those responsible for overseeing the activity must be held accountable. She also urged students to desist from such actions and encouraged communities, parents, and teachers to work together to promote positive values. Former Minister of Education Priya Manikchan also addressed the issue in a Facebook post. She reminded students that Christmas Party Week is meant to create beautiful, lasting memories. She urged them to think carefully before acting, especially in an era where everyone has a phone camera. She encouraged parents to talk with their children about acceptable behavior and thanked teachers for their efforts in creating safe and enjoyable school celebrations. Meanwhile, Opposition Member of Parliament Annette Ferguson also condemned the scenes, expressing concerns that the behavior appeared to occur without supervision in a classroom setting. She warned that such actions, if unchecked, could escalate into harmful behaviors. Ferguson urged parents to have honest conversations with their children. She called on the Ministry of Education to conduct a thorough investigation into the incident, saying the time for corrective action is now. The incident has sparked renewed calls for stronger supervision, responsible behavior, and community involvement to safeguard students and uphold school standards. Stick around when we return. Government rolls out new measures to strengthen human rights and improve public services. And 83 women receive business grants as 16 days of activism conclude.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and we're celebrating with big savings on smartphones, starting as low as $16,500 for the Samsung A06 and $26,500 for the Samsung A16 and $40,500 for the A26. But wait, there's more. Get 1 month free data with your new phone to keep you close to loved ones near and far. Offer available while stocks last. Visit a Digicel store today and unwrap the gift of real connections. Digicel.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Check us out at Decor and Gift Gallery this Christmas holiday for all your shopping needs. We are located at 47 Craig and Sheriff Street, Campbellville, Georgetown.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security concluded the global 16 Days of Activism campaign on Wednesday with a major empowerment initiative awarding business grants to 83 women from 9 regions across Guyana. The women each received $300,000 to start or expand their small businesses, totaling about $25 million in support. The grants were distributed at a ceremony held at the Ghana Women's Leadership Institute in Cove John, East Coast, Demerara. All recipients had to meet specific criteria, completing training, and prepare business plans.
83 women were empowered after they received business startup cash grants. This was done through a collaboration among the government of Guyana, spearheaded by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, with the IADB, the Inter-American Development Bank, and Global Affairs Canada. This stemmed out of negotiations, discussions, and a long time where we worked together to ensure that these women or these beneficiaries could have the startups they needed to move to a place of financial independence.
Many of the beneficiaries recently graduated from the Women's Innovation and Investment Network WIN programs, including survivors of domestic violence and individuals assisted by the Counter Trafficking in Persons Unit.
Among the 83 women, we had survivors of gender-based violence, survivors of trafficking in persons, and women who are single mothers, unemployed, and they needed that impetus to take them to a space and a state where they were either starting their business or growing a micro business. This investment, which comes from the support to social safety nets and gender empowerment, amounted to roughly 25 million Guyana dollars. Everyone benefited equally, and the intention was not only to present these grants. Before receiving these grants, there was stringent criteria which involved every person who received these grants. They had to be trained and they had to have a fully developed business plan.
Officials described the support as a critical step towards building financial independence and creating new opportunities for women nationwide. The ministry said the grants mark not just the end of the activism campaign, but a meaningful beginning for dozens of women ready to turn their entrepreneurial goals into reality. Moving on, the government has announced a series of initiatives aimed at turning human rights commitments into practical everyday services for citizens. The measures focus on strong protection, improved public accountability, and better quality service delivery. The announcement came Tuesday during the opening of the Human Rights and Anti-Corruption Expo at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, where Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips outlined the administration's steps to reduce harm and support vulnerable groups. The Prime Minister acknowledged that many citizens are concerned about service quality and trust in public institutions.
Our government has outlined several measures to strengthen respect for rights and improve public service delivery. These include enacting stronger penalties for attempts to incite racial hostility, ensuring policies targeted at equal pay for equal work, expanding shelters and assistance for victims of domestic and gender-based violence, introducing and enforcing anti-discrimination legislation, including measures related to sexual orientation, strengthening the training of security forces through required modules in human rights and integrity.
Prime Minister Phillips also highlighted progress in modernizing procurement, empowering constitutional bodies, expanding digital services, and creating more opportunities for public participation. The Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Tashira, stressed that passing laws is not enough without culture of ethics and integrity. She said Guyana is making steady progress in both human rights promotion and anti-corruption efforts. To further improve citizen interactions with government agencies, the administration will introduce mandatory service standards, publish explicit public advisories on procedures and fees, expand the National Call and Message Center, enhance the Ask Gov platform, and roll out customer service training for frontline officers. The expo, featuring more than 40 government and civil society organizations, concluded on December. Don't go away after the break. After Australia, Denmark plans strict social media bans for under 15s, and Guyana says oil tanker seized by US was illegally flying its flag.
This Christmas runs on real connections with Digicel. The calls, the laughter, the joy, and the chance to pick and win big. We're giving away $12 million. Yes, every week, one lucky Digicel customer gets a chance to win up to $2 million. 6 lucky winners in total. Here's how you get in. Top up with $1,000 or more, or pay your fiber or postpaid bill in full. The more you top up, the more chances you get. Stay connected this Christmas for your chance to win big. Digicel.
Check us out at Decor and Gift Gallery this Christmas holiday for all your shopping needs. We are located at 47 Craig and Sheriff Street, Campbellville, Georgetown.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Gittins. Tonight, Guyana condemns the illegal use of its flag after the US seizes a sanctioned oil tanker of Venezuela. Caracas calls the move piracy. Denmark plans its own social media ban for minors. Anti-border attack forced thousands of Cambodians to flee. We begin in Guyana. Ghana's Maritime Administration has condemned the illegal use of its flag after the US seized the sanctioned oil tanker falsely claiming Guyanese registration of Venezuela. The empty skipper was intercepted during a US operation targeting illicit oil networks. MARAD warned of rising fraudulent flag use and pledged stronger international cooperation. Venezuela has condemned the US military seizure of an oil tanker off its coast, calling it an act of international piracy. Tensions have been escalating in recent months. Al Jazeera Kulsum Sharif reports.
This is the moment American forces stormed an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. The U.S. Attorney General, who shared the video on social media, says the vessel was used by Iran and Venezuela to support foreign terrorist networks. It's the Trump administration's latest push to increase pressure on President Nicolas Maduro, who it accuses of leading a drug cartel.
We've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually.
The seizure marks a major escalation in a months-long campaign against what the U.S. calls drug smuggling boats. This week, U.S. fighter jets flew over the Gulf of Venezuela, the closest its warplanes have come to the country's airspace. U.S. forces have also bombed dozens of vessels in the Caribbean and Pacific since September, killing nearly 90 people, saying they were bringing drugs into the country. Washington has built up significant military presence off the coast of Venezuela, including warships, submarines, aircraft and troops.
What
they want is to steal our oil, to steal our gold, to steal our gas in our waters because they don't want to pay. And why won't they pay for it? Because they are thieves.
President Nicolas Maduro has denied the U.S. accusations and remains defiant.
We say no to interventionism. We say no to plans for destabilization and regime change. The US government should focus on governing its own country.
Venezuela has one of the world's largest oil reserves. It accuses the US of wanting to steal its resources by forcing regime change in Caracas. Trump's threat of military action is perhaps the most serious challenge to Maduro's 12-year presidency. Kulsum Sharif, Al Jazeera.
As Australia bans on social media for under 16 begins, Denmark, known for its digital innovation, is planning a ban of its own. Soon, children under 15 there wouldn't be able to use major social media platforms unless parents grant exemptions. Al Jazeera Charlie Angela reports.
Across Denmark, this morning's walk to school is a familiar sight. Children absorbed in the online world before lessons even begin. But soon, that world could be out of reach for many of them. 94% of under 13s here have a social media profile, despite platforms supposedly banning them. While 60% of teenage boys don't see a single friend in their free time.
Use about 3 hours or 4 hours a day on it, like from when I get home from school to, eat dinner. I think it's pretty, it's a lot. I have actually kind of tried to stop myself on using it, but it's kind of addictive, so it's very hard.
The government says excessive screen time is partly to blame, and it's working on the toughest restrictions in Europe, banning social media for all under 15s.
We can see in the big surveys we do that a lot of kids don't feel well, they have more anxiety, and we can see there's a link between the kids that are a lot on these social media platforms and their mental well-being. So we think it's necessary to look at it and actually do something substantial.
More engagement in the real world and healthier kids are some of the government's objectives. Some families say Denmark is just catching up with what they already decided for themselves.
So I have not allowed Olivia to be on social media, first of all, because I want her to develop her own personality outside of social media and not be affected too much of other people.
I think it's a good idea because then it makes them get off their phones more.
Denmark is one of the most digitalized nations in the world, But researchers here warn that heavy social media use is affecting the attention, sleep, exercise and self-esteem of their youth. Worldwide, governments are debating stricter online protections. Australia has introduced a strict social media ban for under 16s. The European Parliament is recommending safer rules for minors, while China is restricting screen time depending on age. And Malaysia plans to ban social media for under 16s next year.
With this ban, the government hopes to recapture what it calls a lost childhood. More play, deeper friendships and less time trapped in online algorithms. But the real challenge will be enforcing this ban in a world where tech companies already struggle to manage the rules they have. Charlie Angela, Al Jazeera, Copenhagen.
Heavy attacks from across the Thai border are forcing Cambodians to flee repeatedly, even from areas with bunkers. More than 10,000 people are now in temporary camps where shortages of food, water, and essentials are widespread. Al Jazeera Barnaby Lowe reports.
For the second time in months, Mia Sobhip has had to flee her home, even though she says it has a bunker. The intensity of the attacks from across the border in Thailand has forced her to take refuge in this temporary camp, despite the poor living conditions.
We lack many things here: water, food, everything. I came here with nothing but the clothes I was wearing.
More than 10,000 people are sheltering here, and there isn't enough to go around. Many say they've had to fend for themselves.
But the bigger concern here is safety. As you can see, they're packing their belongings, getting ready to flee again after they heard loud explosions and saw smoke go up in the sky.
Signs that fighting between Thai and Cambodian forces has increased after both sides promised to keep defending their sovereignty and territorial integrity. The two countries have been locked in a border dispute for decades, but armed hostilities peaked this year, with dozens of people, including civilians, killed in July, and now a situation that local officials say is a serious escalation.
It's definitely more difficult to manage this time. We never had to leave an evacuation camp before, but we're doing this to ensure everyone's safety.
Husre says she's had to seek safety 5 times this year, afraid that she and her family will get caught up even in smaller skirmishes. That was before authorities ordered everyone out of this camp. Now she's fleeing for a 6th time.
I'm so tired. My children can't go to school and I can't make a living. We just keep running and escaping.
Despite the pledge to keep fighting, Cambodia has said it's open to a dialogue for a ceasefire. But Thailand says that's not on the table for now, a stand that Mian says has turned her exhaustion into frustration.
If the government asks me to volunteer to fight at the border, I will go. I'm not scared.
And that frustration resonates among thousands of people forced to leave this evacuation camp. Barnaby Lowe, Al Jazeera, Otar Mian Chai Province, Cambodia.
Thanks, Dominique. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. for rebroadcast, and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.